The rest of the family here today. Fred and I were law partners. He left Coca-Cola for a while and decided he wanted to come back and practice law, and he went in with a firm that Judge Bill Norton, who became famous as a bankruptcy court judge, was the head of the firm, and he recruited me away from my first job with Bob Andrews, and things were going along pretty good. Fred had an office in downtown Dawsonville. A law office in downtown Dawsonville in those days was not exactly like it is today, quite honestly. Many of you know that. But anyway, Fred decided after a little while that, that life at Coca-Cola wasn't so terribly bad. So he left and left me there. And I had the good fortune at that point to be offered a position as the assistant district attorney under Jeff Wayne, who was the district attorney. Many of you may remember him from years ago. The best experience I had in learning to try cases, because in those days I'd be in the back of the courtroom talking to the witnesses, and Jeff would be in the front of the courtroom striking the jury, and 5 minutes later I'd put somebody on the witness stand and examine them and start trying a case. They don't do it that way anymore. That's why it takes so long, but in those days you got it done quickly. Many of you knew my wife, my late wife, Sandra. She was a retired school teacher. As a first lady, she took on the issue of literacy as an important project, read to children in every one of the 159 counties and every one of the 181 school systems, and over an individual classrooms of over 1,000 individual classrooms. We estimate she read to about 250,000 Georgia children. She had breast cancer that later metastasized into brain cancer, and she passed away about 3 years ago. But just so I can put a plug in for what I have been doing during this interim period, before she passed away, she told me, she said, I've read every good children's book I have. I want you to write me one. And like most husbands, I promised her I would, because I didn't have a time schedule for that. And about a year rolled by and I hadn't done anything on it, and then she got the brain cancer diagnosis. So I got busy and I wrote the book, and it's been a very successful children's book, by the way. It's called Vito, the Governor's Cat, a real cat who lived with the first family, and it's a story about he and his brother Bill. Now, somebody at the governor's mansion named these two boy cats Bill and Vito. Pretty good names for governor's cats, I suppose. So I wrote the book, and like I say, it's been very successful. But at 82 years of age, I was lonesome. I really was. There she is. I was looking for you. I had the good fortune to meet a lady who is Brenda McCauley. Stand up, Brenda. She can do that standing up better than I can.
Woo! Woo!
And we're going to be married 3 weeks from today.
Woo! Woo!
I tell people that she's not a young floozy. I got accused of that when I was seen with my daughter, who lives with me. One of our friends saw us out and they said, I saw the governor and he was with some young floozy. My daughter said, well, I haven't been called young or a floozy in a long time, so it doesn't insult me. But I'm 10 days older than Brenda, 10 days older than Brenda. So we'll both celebrate our 83rd birthdays in the latter part of August, the first part of September. But thank you for allowing me to introduce Brenda. She is a retired school psychologist, a well-educated